2020 has been an interesting year. I feel like we've aged 10 years in just a year. This has also opened up a lot of opportunities online. But with opportunities comes a lot of obstacles as well. If you're a musician, you may be thinking, fuck this. I don't have time to be online all this time. I don't have time to post on all these platforms. Therefore, I want to give you 5 social media trends that's going to dominate 2021 so you can spend your time wisely. So you should at least give a few minutes out of your time to thinking about exploring. The last trend I'm going to talk about in today's video is a trend that's going to completely revolutionize the music industry. So you want to stick around for that one. For those joining me for the first time, my name is Rebecca Smart-Buchan and I help musicians grow their audience and business online. Go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to get notified whenever I share a new lesson about music marketing. I launch 1 video per week. Today's intro music is brought to you by Debbie Defier. It's her song, Where Do I Go From Here? Go ahead and check her out on Spotify. I'm gonna link to her Spotify in the caption. Go check her out. If you want your song to be featured in my intro, all you have to do is share yourself watching this video and tag me on Instagram. Or subscribe here on YouTube and comment on this video. Every week I will feature 1 upcoming musician. All right, let's get started. So with the closure of most live music venues, we've also seen the increase of online live streaming as artists has looked for new outlets for their live performances. However, this increase in live streaming has brought its own unique set of problems, namely copyright issues. Copyright issues have been at the forefront of everyone's mind recently, especially DJs, and has now once again limited music distribution. I feel like we're back in 1999 in the middle of the Napster war, where the general public wanted to listen to music a certain way, but the industry was hesitant and couldn't figure a way to monetize it. That's why when Napster came along, it forced the industry to change. The same thing is happening now with copyright issues and live streaming. The industry's copyright detecting algorithms are coming down on all these live streaming platforms and are protecting the work, the music, and the art of the artists, which is of course important, but something bigger is happening. Technology is changing so fast and people want to use and consume music differently. So instead of banning and removing, we should work on finding a solution so musicians can get paid when their music is being used in other people's content. People will always continue to use other people's art and music in their work and will always try to go around copyright issues. I mean, DJs are becoming very skilled at getting around the issue now, despite their initial frustration. The amount of exposure a musician can be getting now through different content creators using their music on Twitch or TikTok, I mean, it's insane. Partnering with content creators should be one of your main strategies as a musician, as you can place your music in front of a huge audience that you may not have been exposed to before. These content creators are also bringing back old songs, so they're now once again trending on Spotify and the other streaming platforms. I mean, this will also eventually result in more fans, streams, and all your numbers generally being increased. 2021 is going to be an even more interesting year. Hopefully, we'll get back to having live gigs at some point during the year. However, we need to be prepared for the worst. So to help you with your socials in 2021, here are 5 social media trends that will blow up in 2021. First one is short form videos. So with the explosion of TikTok, Instagram release of Reels, and now even YouTube is launching their own short form video version, I mean, it's safe to say that the short form video format is here to stay. With so much content being uploaded onto social media platforms every day, it's getting more and more crowded, and people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. A lot of people just don't have the time to watch your 3-minute long IGTV, let alone sit through your 20-minute long YouTube video. I really appreciate you guys. That's not to say that you have to stop making longer videos. I mean, these are great for when you catches people's interest and they want to spend more time with you. However, we need a video format that catches people's attention so they can get interested in you in the first place. And then, once you have their attention, they might go looking for more longer format content from you. Well, voila! Here is the short form video format. Since you only have 30 seconds to convey something, you really have to start being creative with what you use the real estate for. You need to catch people's attention right away. I've created a video that's going to help you with this and how to optimize these short form videos in order to really grab people's attention. I'm linking to all the resources that I refer to in my captions, so go check them out. I'm also going to link to all the different sections of this video, so if you want to skip to certain parts because you don't have the time to sit with me through my whole video today, go ahead and do that. You need to find a format and some subject areas you can attack. Are you funny? Do you inspire? Are you a storyteller? Are you an educator? Start testing out some different content ideas and have fun while testing. This format is all about surface content. Make sure it's easy to absorb and nothing too deep or heavy, as you only have 30 seconds to grab people's attention. It's interesting to note how Gen Z now seem to have hardly any attention span, but let's not go too deep into that in this video. But we clearly see a correlation between the lack of attention and these kinds of channels and platforms that are coming about during their generation. Platforms like TikTok and Snapchat reflect this. Their focus is easy, absorbable, attention-grabbing, short-form content. And the older platforms are also noticing and adapting accordingly. If you have not yet started creating some short-form video content every week, you need to get to it. Post your first reels today. Next trend is social commerce. So a lot of changes have happened over on Instagram and Facebook in the last 6 months. With the introduction of reels, integration and upgrades to the chat, and now also their latest change of including social shopping in the platform, this new shopping section has its own feed and Discover Explore section on Instagram. And you can now connect your products to Instagram and sell directly here. So you can now post a story of you wearing your merch and tag the product in the story so followers can purchase it directly from your story. They don't even have to leave Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are heavily invested in this. Of course, not only do they want to make money from all the content that you're creating and ads, but they also want to get a piece of the products that you're selling as well. I mean, it makes sense. And it also makes it easier for us to sell, as it doesn't require your followers and fans to leave the platform, and you can directly or indirectly attach your products to the content and value that you share. Studies show us that 70% of consumers turn to social media for shopping inspiration, with 55% of online shoppers making the majority of their purchases through social media channels. Remember back in the days when you were watching commercials on TV and you wish you could just use the remote to purchase? I mean, basically that's what social shopping is. So it's time to get your merch and your products on Instagram. I'm gonna link to a guide of how to set up your shop on Facebook and Instagram in the caption. Check it out. Trend number 3, chatting. So have you noticed the recent upgrade to the Instagram chat where you can now add an FAQ response to the chat? I mean, this basically means that whenever someone sends you a DM, they get an automated FAQ reply at first. Each one of the FAQ will of course have an automated answer to it. Chat marketing has seen a huge increase the last few years as we've also seen many musicians moving over to text marketing. All right, but let's stick to social media for this video and what's going on with the chat feature here. I'll do another video about digital marketing trends, don't worry. Instagram and Facebook are now integrating their chat, and we all know that WhatsApp is owned by Facebook as well, which is another big social media and chat operator. Chatting will always provide a more personalized experience for the user. Whether you're answering your DMs yourself, or if you have a chat bot or FAQ set up that will feed relevant information to what the person needs. And being personal is how you build a strong community. So using the chat to sell and engage can actually be very effective. Did you know that chatting is one of the top revenue streams as well in the new upcoming platform OnlyFans? So start by setting up your FAQs on Instagram right now to make sure that you keep your fans and followers engaged. Next trend, live streaming. Live streaming is a format that has exploded in 2020 due to COVID-19. And this will continue to be popular in 2021 and beyond. I mean, Neil Patel actually predicted that live streaming will take over traditional content marketing in the future. People want real-time interactions, and no other content on the platform right now generates as much engagement as live streaming. However, there are some serious copyright issues with live streaming at the moment. You have a lot of content creators using music that isn't theirs in their content, sometimes as background music while they're gaming on Twitch, for example, and they are now having to take the content down as the music they've used is copyrighted content. It kind of feels like we're back in 1999 when Napster and the music industry were at each other's throats. The consumer wants to use music in content, while the music industry is making it difficult. Let's think of a solution so musicians can earn from this content and the visibility that they get from these content creators, rather than banning and removing. That's just my opinion, but I can't see this stopping anytime soon. So a solution that's beneficial for all parties is surely better than banning or muting or blocking content. Live streaming should be the go-to format for you as a musician, especially at the moment, while no one else is really gigging. Live streaming is an outlet where you can perform as well as directly interact and connect with your fans. Use it. Also, by using live streaming, you're also optimizing your content creation. Usually when you go live, you can then download the video after and then use it to create even more content out of it. It can be used to make a quick reel. It can be split into smaller chunks for some IGTV videos, each a few minutes long. It can be used for blooper videos. Any of these options means that you're also optimizing your time by going live, as you will also then get lots of content out of it afterwards. I mean, if you've ever watched one of Mark Brabilit's live streams, you'll know. I mean, one of his streams gives him contents for days to repurpose. Last trend, exclusive content. I'm talking OnlyFans here. So something is happening in the industry right now. People are getting so accustomed to creating so much high quality content for their different platforms. And in the end, yes, of course, they're building their brand and follower count and getting more engagement. But a lot of the time, this isn't translating into direct revenue. We can all work for free, but that shouldn't be the goal. The products musicians have that they sell directly to their fans are music, both physical and digital downloads, as well as streaming. You have merch, and you also have tickets for live shows. The first one can give you some revenue, but you cannot bank on it to pay all of your bills. That's why we, as an industry, have been relying on live shows for so long. And we all know that live shows are also another outlet for selling merch as well. It's one of the only products that is directly sold to fans that musicians can make direct profit from. When selling music, artists are typically left with $0.003 per stream on Spotify, which then still gets split between the label, publishing, and everyone else involved. I mean, the earning numbers are a complete joke for the musician compared to everyone else that's profiting from your content. Musicians are getting more and more aware that they are getting screwed, in a similar awakening to the Gen Z crowd growing up and being more aware of what's happening to their data and wanting to protect it. Then along comes OnlyFans. Now you're probably thinking, what does porn have to do with all of this? But something is happening right now in the industry that is very interesting. OnlyFans is a platform where you can share exclusive content with your fans, and you slap it behind a paywall. So this has gotten big now during the pandemic, and it was on its way before, to be honest, because a lot of strippers and porn stars were using it to earn some extra money. Soon, that extra bit of money became an actual legitimate revenue stream, and I'm pretty sure we won't see a lot of these girls back at the strip clubs after Corona with the earnings that they're making from their own phone at their own home these days. Okay, back to musicians. We've now seen a trend of some musicians, mostly hip-hop artists at first, joining the platform. I mean, remember my video that I did about collaboration and how hip-hop artists are typically at the forefront of marketing? This is another example. So what's happening is that these musicians are starting to create some explicit content. Not necessarily nudity, although Tyga probably leaked his eggplant to hype up his OnlyFans during launch, proper Kardashian style. However, the big musicians who are joining don't show nudity at all. You have Cardi B, Chris Brown. So this has caused a huge trend of other musicians thinking creatively around content and finding ways they can put out exclusive content so they can get paid from it. So with the scare of TikTok being banned and the controversy of all the mainstream social media platforms completely reducing organic reach, so you have to pay to get your content seen at all these days, social platforms like OnlyFans can be, and often are, very lucrative. Not only does everyone who sign up see your content, but they also pay to see it. Do you know that messaging is one of the biggest income streams inside OnlyFans? So this is not to say that everyone will be successful with OnlyFans. I mean, with so much free content being available everywhere, you need to have an edge. And you need to start building a community of people who want to pay for this access and exclusive content of yours. The biggest rule of OnlyFans as well, to keep your customers happy, is to always share new content. Consistency is key. So start by registering for your own OnlyFans account. Yes, you're gonna hear the laggers, the ones who will soon understand, but probably when it's too late to jump on board, judge you and ask you if you're now gonna do porn. But this stamp and image that OnlyFans has with porn is only temporary. They were the innovators of the platform, but when the majority will catch on, it will get very crowded. So start now before it gets too crowded. So as you can see, there's a lot of developments and changes happening right now. You have an opportunity to get ahead of the curve and gain your advantage by being innovative with your methods online. Try new things, experiment, get out of your comfort zone. In business, when one of the main revenue streams gets cut, the businesses are forced to innovate. This is how change and growth will happen. The same goes for musicians, the ones who will use this pandemic to innovate and find new ways of using social media platforms to build and monetize a fan base will get an advantage when we go back to touring. How can a big company like Kodak go bankrupt after being the top digital camera manufacturer for decades? Well, it was because they didn't pay attention to the consumer changes. And before they knew it, they'd missed the boat. Don't miss your boat. Innovate now. That's it for today, guys. Now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe. And I'll see you next week.